Why does Blade look like that? That's Blade? Sorry. Hey, it just caught me off guard. I was trying to hit pause, and it was just how it starts off. Okay, we're here for the. So they're going live action this time. Okay, no disrespect to the person playing Blade. That he looks like a character Blade will take out, not him being Blade. But anyway, what's good? This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer versus Blade. I don't know much of Buffy besides the TV show back in the 90s or early 2000s, something like that. I can't remember. I think it was the 90s. And I was a kid. I didn't know any of her books, nothing like that. All I know is she's a vampire slayer. Just because I know Blade, I'm going to choose him. Blade is one of my favorite, not just Marvel heroes, but heroes of all time. But yeah, this is actually a good video for me to actually learn what Buffy's about outside of her being a vampire slayer. What makes her who she is, like what's her powers. I wonder if it's the same as Blade's. All right, here we go. This time they're doing live action. Shout out to Death Battle.
Versus Buffy, the Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our turn to
not look like Blade.
Armor and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
What is it? No disrespect to
by
him.
Many names: Revenant, Vortala, Nosferatu. Vampires! When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood. Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who
Blade.
stalk the night is the one who can walk the
Wesley
dead.
Snipes, man.
Blade.
I will. That's how he looked at first. I never knew his old look. Thank God they changed it. Thank God. That's why people's like comic accurate. Everything that's in the comics is not good to have in live action. Some things need to be changed, and yeah.
Is that really his costume? Hang on. Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes.
Oh wait, was that?
Blade. Who can walk the dead.
Was that actually him?
Blade. Is that really his costume? Hang on. Now there's
I
a
don't know. I
man
have
who
to
doesn't
research
file
that.
his taxes. Blade
That is the real one to me though. This right here,
ever.
Wesley
It
Snipes.
basically kickstarted the comic
Thank
movie
you, Death Battles. People
is
like
also
they know.
secretly-
Because I hate how they're saying these other movies kickstarted Marvel like to be as good as they are. No. Blade is one of the front runners of everything that Marvel is succeeding in right now. Blade does not get a lot of credit. Wesley Snipes does not get a lot of credit. I'm so glad Death Battle said that. Shout out to them for it.
Who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever.
Yes.
And basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
Yes,
And
basically.
yet, he is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
I was about to say I liked him in
Doesn't need
Midnight Suns
anyone's
too.
help. He'll just aura farm by himself. Even Blade's birth was hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost. And he drank her blood right before she gave birth. This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier. Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight. Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good. Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound
Come on,
demons
MCU,
and cut
Disney,
bullets
y'all
out
gotta
of the air.
get
He can
a
keep
new
up with
Blade movie in the
Wolverine,
works,
who can
man.
deflect Cyclops' light speed optic blasts, and his Kevlar DuPont armor
Are you
helped
out
him
of your-
take the top of Count Von
I
Stott's
love that
castle
scene.
exploding. He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses. Also, his fangs can drain his victims of magical energies. After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became a master martial artist. Ah yes, the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu. While the only martial art he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more.
Oh,
so
yeah,
for the full
yeah.
scope of his martial arts ability,
That's just
we'll
where he
examine
started,
the
but he
Blade
definitely
movies
upgraded.
as performed by Wesley Snipes. By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira,
That was
Brazilian
perfect casting for
Jiu-Jitsu,
Wesley
and
Snipes,
Street
not just
Fighting.
because he looks perfect for the role, but some people don't know this, but he actually in real life knew how to fight. I forgot which one, if it was Taekwondo, Kung Fu. I can't remember which one it was, but he actually was already experienced. So now they just had to show him what to do, and he got it. That was perfect casting in both senses. Just he looks good for it, and he actually could do a lot of what they showed in the movies.
kickboxing.
Even in
yoga,
Deadpool
karate,
Wolverine,
and
20-some years
and
later, he
Blade's
still has
knack
some
for
moves.
Stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there!
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. A hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower. And he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium. A variant of the
I
metal
never
that
knew
is
that.
mass producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally, Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
Yeah,
All that
that's
pales
smart.
in comparison
That's very
to
smart.
the arch
I'ma
weapon
turn
of
you
hell
so I
in
can
Blade's
destroy you
possession,
quicker.
The breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets
Interesting.
chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had and fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the spirit of vengeance.
He don't need any help.
Cerebros.
He helps you. You don't help
occasionally
him.
allied with teams like the Avengers.
He always has that
refers to
attitude. Like,
work
I'll
with
help you.
I probably would too.
No,
if
we'll
they
help
really
you. No,
cared
I'm
about
good.
me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, vampires.
that, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness: a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her.
I did not
If
know
his
he had a
bloodlust
daughter.
does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampires, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can
I did not
force
know
his
that.
way inside your body
That's
and
part of
blow
the story I
you
don't
up
know.
from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
Alright, let's see what Buffy got.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything, Buffy Ann Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slang, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the Valley, all right. Along
I've
with
never
new
seen
Watcher
the show.
Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel.
Oh, yeah, I remember he had his own show,
Dawn,
too.
And Xander. Buffy and her Scooby Gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels.
Yeah, look, I
Tens
never
of
read a book
thousands
in my
of
life.
pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of
Yo,
anti-vampire
salute
weaponry.
to y'all.
There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in Gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi,
Wow.
kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Impressive,
Buffy apparently
okay.
thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie
I was literally about to
masters
bring
could learn
up.
a thing or two.
She don't look like she know how to fight.
To her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
I guess the
Buffy's strong
TV
enough
show
to
doesn't
bend
do it
rebar,
much justice.
punch this
They be
4.5
saying that, then they
ton
show a clip of the
Batbuster
show, and I'm
into the
like,
air and smash
But yeah.
hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephrilion's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to
Magic is
esoteric
like
attacks,
Blaze, so-
like when she expelled this
All right.
misty shadow demon. Trying
Is that
to
like
possess
an
her
overshadow
body,
saying
or
that
when
she can survive
resisted her
Blaze
soul
bite?
being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those.
he had his own show, right?
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
I thought he
Even
did.
worse by her having all the memories of the
I
other
think it was called
Slayers
Angel.
bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friend
I knew it was
brought her
coming.
to the agony of existence. This absolutely crushed
Wait.
Buffy and bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence. This absolutely crushed,
She was like, I was in heaven
ironically,
chilling.
annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the
Wait,
show
wait,
renewed
I'm
for
sorry.
more seasons,
But yeah, she was like, I was
Ascended
chilling
to
in heaven. Y'all had to call me back.
perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence. This absolutely crushed Buffy and, ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade
I was about to say,
against
yeah.
all things Spirit
Hollywood was like,
Halloween.
no, you're making too much money for us. Bring her back.
Defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The Slayer safe!
It's actually a Bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
Containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons, the scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Dang, what the
Even
heck?
Silas
They try to make
with
her
the
overpowered?
power of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The scythe
Is Buffy
is easily
Marvel or
the most
DC?
powerful tool
I don't
in
think
her
so. I think it was his own
arsenal.
thing.
In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the First Evil's ass.
Suddenly, the
I
always
ain't gonna
isolated
front, that
Buffy
scene
had
looked a little
thousands of
cringy.
shoulders to lean on.
Like a
the
Power
sisterhood
Ranger
of
show.
Slayers.
But that was the
And
90s.
thousands
It was
more
still
reasons
fun.
For any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from her.
90s had a lot of
Because
cringy
unless you
moments, but
wanna
it was
get your
fun. I
blood
can't
all
even
over her stylish
deny
and
that.
affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
The way they broke her down, looked like she might be Blade.
Are set, and we've run
I don't
the data
know.
through all
It's
possibilities.
like I have no
Time for a
idea.
live action death battle.
Seems like she got everything she needs, and she can fight on top of it. All right, let's see. I already voted for Blade. Of course I was going to vote for him. I'm too much of a fan. This is the first time in a long time I've seen a live action death battle. They doing the club scene like the Leslie Snipes movie. I gotta look at this Blade casting again. The opening was like, it just like, wait, that's Blade? That's what made me look at him like, no disrespect to him again. It was just not the Blade I'm used to, I'll put it that way.
We were kings long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Tonight,
Don't put your hands on them.
we feast.
Daywalker.
And she, that's just the start.
Shout out to this guy. He got his moment to play Blade. I'm not hating on that. I'm not hating on it at all. It's just that does not look like Blade, but I'm gonna move on from that. Move on. That's some good production. Hey, why are they gonna fight each other? They look like they need to be teaming up. That was cool. Call back. He moves like Blade, I'll give that to him. The DJ just accepted his fate. Come with me if you want to live. Uh-oh. He's like, sorry.
Wait!
It was a misunderstanding, Buffy. I said Bucky.
Shoot's just a kid!
Not anymore.
Wait, what? Hold on. Did I hear that right?
Shoot's just a kid!
Not anymore.
That's his voice? Not anymore. Like, wait. Alright. We're here for the death battle. He moves well like the Wesley Snipes blade. I'll give that to him. Which that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest things. I wonder are these oh wait.
You out your damn mind?
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard. Oh man. You know what? How else can I wait, okay, let's just watch. Sorry. Let's say this is teenager Blade.
Amateur hour.
There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Oh man. Alright. Alright. Y'all know I try to be I try. I wonder, do these two actually fight like in real life? Like, are they trained professionals?
Another sword.
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
And let me be clear, I'm not saying he has to be like Wesley Snipes. There's only one Wesley Snipes. So I'm not saying that at all. Like, oh, he's not acting like him. No. I know somebody's like, everybody can't be Wesley Snipes. I'm not saying that, but come on, you have to see what I'm seeing here, right? Blade, you're gonna lose just for sitting there. See, you taking all day doing all those signs. That was extra dramatic. I gotta see the comment section after this. I gotta see what they're saying.
It's like you got ahead of yourself.
KO! To be Blade tenued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the KO! To be Blade tenued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more
Dang, she had that many
Blade.
comics?
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile, Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Next
right.
time
Oh, what's
Death
next?
Battle.
Dante versus who's the other one? Oh, the guy from Final Fantasy. I don't know that Final Fantasy that much, but okay. After the breakdowns, it literally, as much as I wanted Blade to win, I could see Buffy winning that. For me, as you can tell, I was thrown off by the casting choice of Blade. No offense, I said it already, I'll say it again. No offense to him, but they should have went with somebody else, or they should have stuck to their animation and just had animated and have like Michael J. White, who voiced Blade before, and Midnight Suns have him voice Blade. Or even better yet, Wesley Snipes. You know, give him another job. But yeah, the the choreography stuff, it was cool. It was alright. But I ain't gonna front. When he first started talking, I was like, wait, that's his voice? So that threw me off. I'm not even gonna front. Yeah, that's true. I was like, how it opened up. I'm like, have them work together. Honestly, that whole battle happened out of a misunderstanding. Yeah, that's what I call it. The DJ, when that light came on, he just went. He was like, I'm cool. I lived my life. Yeah, I didn't know Buffy was all that either. I did not know that. I learned a lot from this Death Battles. Didn't know Buffy went that hard. When I saw the thumbnail, I thought, all right, light work for Blade. That's same here. Then when I saw all the Buffy lore, yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, like that's what really threw me off. Cause like I said, it's no knock to the guy. Like he said, the guy who played was great. Like how he moved well as Blade. You know, he did too much facial stuff, like, you know, try to look funny, I guess, or try, you know, I don't know what that was. But outside of that, overall, when he was moving, his fighting style, his posture, he looked like Blade in that sense. But every time he talked, yeah, that really threw me off. But sometimes with his face, like he was trying too hard with his face sometimes, and that voice, I can look past the facial, but it was when he started talking. I was like, whoa. Then he tried to say the words that Wesley Snipes said, just in that voice. I was like, okay. But, I mean, like I said, don't knock to him. I know, like, you know, just being called to be Blade is something I think is really cool. So, salute to him. I can't lie either. All right, well, Buffy wins that one. I did learn a lot about her. Honestly, they need to bring her back. I'm talking Buffy, like, make a new movie or show us someone with a better budget, because I didn't know any of that. I knew, like, from the little bit I seen growing up, she killed vampire. I didn't know all that lore. So that was interesting enough. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, I'll see you later.